Welcome back to another Optiplex video, and today we are going to just kind of upgrade some of just about everything. So everything's gone out of here. No, it wasn't stolen. If you just direct your attention over here to my work area, kind of my gaming area, that is my computer now. I'll do a separate video over that, and I'll show you what all I did. So anyway, back to this. So this computer's been sitting in my room for about a month now. It hasn't had any parts in it, so it's a little dusty, a little bit dust. But anyway, I didn't want to get rid of this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little attached to it because this was my first gaming computer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna upgrade, or actually just install a bunch of new components. And I'm gonna give this to my little sister, my cameraman over here. She's the one that helps me with all these videos, so I think she deserves a new computer. Especially since
do not diss the laptop.
It runs a Pentium, so she's going to get quite the upgrade.
Why you do that?
She's defensive about her little Pentium computer. Anyway, so guys, we're going to cut it here, and then we'll get back into the build. This will be a little bit different. I'm going to do kind of a fast forward thing, and then we'll get straight into the benchmarks. I'll show off the components we have, and then I'll, we'll get into the video. So, alright, so I got a mixture of parts here. Some of them are used, some of them are new. I bought new storage, and I bought a new graphics card for this. So the first thing up is our brain. We've got ourselves an i5 3470 processor. This is clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. Should be pretty good for this build. It is 1155 socket, so you have to, when you guys build a computer, you gotta make sure you guys get the right socket type. If not, then you can be in trouble. So next up, we've got, I believe this is 16 gigs of RAM. I got it from the same place that I bought the RAM for the last computer I built over here. So they say it's 16 gigs, but who knows? It could be, I know for sure that it's going to be at least 8 gigs. That's how much I paid for it anyway. I know I should test this stuff. Actually, now that I think about it, I have tested it. It is 16 gigs. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, so we also got ourselves a 500 watt power supply. This is a Thermaltake TR2 500 watt. It's not 80 plus bronze, which is something I wanted, but you can't really pass something up like this up for 20 bucks. I mean, really, you can't pass up $20 for this. So that's our power supply. Next up, I realized I went to Best Buy today and picked up a terabyte hard drive. They had it on sale. Usually it's like 55 bucks. They had it on sale for 44 bucks. So not too bad of a deal there. And I also bought a SanDisk 120 gigabyte SSD for the OS. I was going to go with another PNY SSD, but they were out of stock, so I had to go with the slightly more expensive one. For graphics card, this is the first time I've ever bought one of these. This is an RX 560 4 gigabyte card. I've never bought an AMD card before. I've bought several NVIDIA cards, but this was $129. Was going to go with the RX 550, but this one was, it was only 109 bucks. But I figured for $20 more, you can get a little bit of a better card. So I went with the RX 560 for this build. Now, for the most part, Sarah only wants to play Minecraft, really. So that's her biggest thing. So I didn't go with a super high-end graphics card, mostly just because, for now anyway, she really just wants to play Minecraft or games similar to it. So I do think she said maybe doing some Ark later on, or maybe some other games, but that's, so that's why I went with the newer card instead of buying an old used card. It's just in case she wanted to play other games. So that's pretty much our stuff. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to actually start installing the parts, and I'm going to try to fast forward it. So you guys watch me install the parts, and then we'll do a benchmark at the end. So that's what we'll do here. So hopefully I can get it working right. Hopefully this video doesn't turn out stupid. Alright, so let's get started. So just record. Am still using a pocket knife, but unlike the Verge, I know this has a screwdriver on it. Also have another screwdriver. So I got 2 screwdrivers that I use for these things. Just had to throw that out there. Don't do like the Verge and say, and a Swiss Army knife that you hope has a screwdriver on it. Alright, back to Alright, so guys, that's pretty much it. We got everything installed. We're going to put the panel back on and we'll plug it in and test out the computer and we'll run a few benchmarks. As you can see, this case has very little room in it. It's very small. So I have to... Pretty much the only place to actually do any kind of cable management is right here in the underneath the drive cage. Now this DVD player is not... or DVD drive, whatever it is not hooked up. I'll need to get a new SATA cable for that. Otherwise, everything else is done. CPU's all put in. I actually did not expect for this graphics card to need a 6-pin, but then again, I was just kind of looking for a cheap card. I wasn't actually paying attention to what it needed. I did look it up, and I already knew it needed a 500 watt power supply. So I believe it actually says a 400 watt on the back of the box. Or the bottom of the box. Yeah, 400 watt power supply for the graphics card. So that is pretty much it. I did put a fan up in the front here. It's a 120mm Cooler Master fan. It came with my case. It's right here. So to help with cooling a little bit, because the reason why I upgraded into a different computer and motherboard set for my computer over there is because of heat issues. because I couldn't get enough air in. So I did put a fan in there. It's not really in there the way I would like. I'll probably actually have to get a Dremel tool and fix it the way I need it to be fixed. But this is pretty much it, guys. We're gonna be right back to put this thing back together. In fact, let's go ahead and put the panel back on. I believe this is honestly the fastest I've ever built a computer. So everything fits in, looks like it's good. We'll get this thing powered on and start Windows. Alright, so guys, we got everything set up. I'm about to press the power button. So we got power. And see what the screen says. Screen's power on. Okay, so that's good. Now we are reinstalling Windows from our flash drive here. See what it does. This is always the kind of scary moment when you build a computer, is, or even just switching out the components, is whether or not it will actually boot up and work. So I tell you, sometimes this is kind of nerve-wracking. Alright, so we got our loading icon going.
The dreaded loading icon.
Alright, so we got everything here. We're going to pause here. There's some stuff we got to put in, I think. I don't remember. But there's some things that we need to put in to activate it, and we don't want anything happening. So
this fight. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Alright, so we got everything set up. It's about to go into Windows 10. And the only thing I'll have to do is I'm going to connect a Ethernet cord to this computer and another one and bridge a connection, because I do not have a wireless adapter for this computer yet. So until we get a wireless adapter, you know, we'll just have to bridge connections, which shouldn't be too awful bad because we plan on getting one pretty soon. Now, if you would plug this in on the other side, on the back end.
Are we plugging this in? There are multiple plugs in.
Try to get this out of the way a little bit. There's only one plug on the back end of that computer that looks like that.
I know there's only one plug. I can't get it to plug in though.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the display settings
Request assistance
to 1920, 1080. That looks better. Keep changes. See here, one of the other things we're going to do is, okay, so that's bridged now, or connected now. So now we got to go in to network settings. I'm trying to remember how to do this. It's been a while since I've done
I'm
this.
still trying to plug it in. I think this is the right spot.
Apparently I have to do everything, guys.
Yes, you do. Get your butt over here. I think this is the right spot. I don't know how to plug it in though. What?
5 seconds later.
Why does it go inside?
Right, so put your password in on this, and we'll start getting things set up for the benchmarks. So guys, I'm gonna pause it here. Just wanted to show that everything's up and running, and we're gonna get things set up for the next phase. Guys, so I've got Heaven's Benchmark installed. I got all the drivers installed for the graphics card. Also have CPU ID HW monitor installed. So while benchmarking is working, it's doing its deal, I'm going to have that running to show the thermal temps, because I don't believe Heaven's Benchmark actually shows the temperatures. But I do want to get kind of a general idea about what's going on. But first, I want to pull up DX Diag. I know that's not what it is. It's like DirectX or whatever. So I want to run that and show you guys what's going on. So you come up close to the screen. So if you can see right there, it says i5 3470, 16 gigs of RAM. Go down to the next page. AMD graphics processor, RX 560 series. So we are showing everything good on that. So let's get into the benchmarks. Now I won't show you the entire benchmarks because it does take a while. Okay, so apparently something didn't install right on that. So let's go ahead and go back. And I'm going to go and try to reinstall that, see what happens, and I'll be back. Alright, so I finally got the Heavens benchmark to work. I don't know what was exactly wrong with it. Turns out, well, actually I do. I don't know, I mix my words up pretty bad sometimes. But anyway, basically I had to install the x86 version of the Visual CC plus, or C++ or whatever, and now it's running. So I got my software here opened up. It's got everything. GPU temps is at 100 degrees. Cores are at 33, so about 100 degrees. So it's running pretty well. So let's see how this thing does. Alright, so we're loading it up right now. I'm not going to be here for the whole thing. I'm just going to, I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing, and then at the end I'll show you. Alright guys, so now we actually have the real benchmarking going. We're at scene 2 of 26. So far 40 frames a second. It's going up to 70s. So it seems to be going by pretty fast. I've let it run through some of the through the scene a couple times, and I haven't heard anything too loud coming from the computer so far, so I still don't think the CPU fans actually, or the GPU fans actually going still. So looks like we're doing pretty good. We're at scene 6 of 26. Don't know if you guys can really see that. Try to. Yeah, it's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it, I think. So now, it doesn't look like it can actually tell what my temps are for now. Like I said, I'm just going to have to wait till after the benchmarks is done and try to get it as soon as it's over with, so that it still has some heat. Because, believe it or not, this stuff kind of cools down pretty fast, so. Alright, scene 10. And we're holding pretty steady in the 40s right now. And it drops down to 36. Hovering in the high 30s and up the 40s again. 42. So far our max frame rate has been 71.5. And our low is 26.1. It's okay, so we're halfway through. It looks like 60s now. 34, 33. Even though we've had a lot of frame drop, we haven't had a lot of stutter yet, which is pretty good. Now, I did notice when I was doing a preview of this that it did stutter inside this castle here when it became nighttime. So let's see how that is when it pops up. I don't remember exactly which scene that is. So 40s. So we've been in the 40s for quite a bit now. Right here. This is where it dropped down. Like as soon as it came in here, it dropped down several times. It doesn't appear to be doing so. Huh. 50s, 60s. Oh, there we go. So now our high is 98.8. $79, $80. So yeah, most of these sky views like this is going to be pretty high. Not as much to render in. Alright, so we're on scene 21 of 26. Let's see here. Just a couple minutes, actually. I forgot that these things don't actually take as long as... They always make them seem like they take forever. Like on TV and stuff, so... Alright, so we are 25, we're almost there. and 26. So here's the final shot, and we'll see what our score is. Alright, so our score is 1169. So i5 3470 and RX 560. So our low was 25.8 and our high is 98.8. I'm guessing this is our average was 46.4. So I don't think that was too awful bad. Let's save that. We'll just yeah, okay, whatever. And we'll close out of that. And we'll quit. Come on, hurry up so I can... I'm trying to get to the... Okay, so our temperature's about 100 degrees. Now, I wish there was a way... I think might be a way, like if you upgrade to the advanced edition or something, you can get the one, but that lets you see all that stuff. But that's pretty much what it is, guys. Our GPU went up to 52. Now it's going back down, so it was definitely being pushed a little bit. So it was at 52 degrees Celsius, and it's dropping now. So that's what I was kind of worried about. Now, the processor I don't think is actually used a whole lot, or like it's used, but it's not used. I think this particular benchmark specifically for the GPU. There are a couple more for the CPU, but that's going to do it, guys. This is the, pretty much what I wanted to do was just build a nice little computer for my little sister. She helps me out a lot, and, I had this Optiplex just kind of laying around, and, I didn't want to get rid of it because it was definitely a good computer, and it'll definitely get a lot of use. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a little bit different than what I normally do. Hopefully it came out okay and didn't suck too bad. This is kind of my first time doing this whole fast forward thing. I can tell you it's going to take a lot of editing. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did, and if you'd like to see some more computer videos. And I'll see you guys next time.